Hello, good listeners. Welcome back to Literate. In this video, we will be continuing our book Why I Am An Atheist by Bhagat Singh. This is the 16th chapter named Reiterating Hunger Strikers' Demand, written on 28th Jan 1930. After suspending hunger strike on assurance of consideration, the government retorted to some kind of delay or the other. There was some disciplinary action taken against participants in the strike, which led Bhagat Singh to write this letter. Please subscribe to the channel for free audiobooks. Hit like button and do leave your feedback in comment section. I suggest you to use headphones for better experience. Here we begin the essay. The Home Member, the Government of India, Delhi. Through the Special Magistrate, Lahore Conspiracy Case, Lahore. Sir, with reference to a telegram dated 20th January 1930, reading as follows, we have not been given any reply. Home Member Government, Delhi under trials, Lahore conspiracy case, and other political prisoners suspended hunger strike on the assurance that the Indian government was considering provincial jail committee's reports. All the government conference over. No action yet taken. As vindictive treatment to political prisoners still continues. We request we be informed within a week. Final government decision. Lahore conspiracy case under trials. As briefly stated in the above telegram, we beg to bring to your kind notice that the Lahore conspiracy case under trials and several other political prisoners confined in Punjab jails suspended hunger strike on the assurance given by the member of Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee that the question of the treatment of political prisoner was going to be finally settled to our satisfaction within a very short period. Further, after the death of our great martyr Jatindranath Das, the matter was taken up in the Legislative Assembly, and the same assurance was given publicly by Sir James Crerar. It was then pronounced that there has been a change of heart, and the question of treatment of political prisoner was receiving the utmost sympathy of the government. Such political prisoners who were still on hunger strike in jail of different part of the country then suspended their hunger strike on the request being made to this effect in an AICC resolution or in view of the said assurance and the critical condition of some of the prisoners. Since then, all the local governments have submitted their reports. A meeting of Inspectors General of Prisons of different provinces has been held at Lucknow, and the deliberation of the All India Government Conference have been concluded at Delhi. The All India Conference was held in month of December last, but not carried into effect any final recommendations. By such dilatory attitude of the government, we no less than the general public have begun to fear that perhaps the question has been shelved. Our apprehensions have been strengthened by the vindictive treatment meted out to hunger strikers and other political prisoners during the last 4 months. It is very difficult for us to know the details of the hardships to which the political prisoners are being subjected. Still, the little information that has trickled out of the four walls of the jail is insufficient to furnish us with glaring instances. We give below a few instances which we cannot but feel are not in conformity with the government's assurance. Sajjan B.K. Banerjee, undergoing 5-year imprisonment in connection with Dakshineshwar bomb case in Lahore Central Jail, joined the hunger strike last year. Now, as a punishment for the same, for each day of his period of hunger strike, 2 days of remission so far earned by him have been forfeited. Under usual circumstances, his release was due in December last, but it will be delayed by a full 4 months. In the same jail, similar punishment has been awarded to Baba Sohan Singh, an old man of about 70, now undergoing his sentence of life transportation in connection with the Lahore conspiracy case. Besides, among others, Sardar Gopal Singh, confined in Miawali jail, Master Mota Singh, confined in Rawalpindi jail, have also been awarded vindictive punishments for joining the general hunger strike. In most of these cases, the periods of imprisonment have been enhanced, while some of them have been removed from the special class. Second, for the same offence, that is, joining the general hunger strike, Monsieur Sachindranath Sanyal, Ramkishan Khatri, and Suresh Chandra Bhattacharya confined in Agra Central Jail, Rajkumar Sinha, Sachindranath Bakshi, Manmat Nath Gupta, and several other Kakori case prisoners have been severely punished. It is reliably learned that Mr. Sanyal was given bar fetters and solitary cell confinement, and as a consequence, there has been a breakdown in his health. His weight has gone down by 18 pounds. Mr. Bhattacharya is reported to be suffering from tuberculosis. The 3 Bareilly jail prisoners also have been punished. It is learned that all their privileges have been withdrawn. Even their usual rights of interviewing with relations and communication with them were forfeited. They have all been considerably reduced in their weights. 2 press statements have been issued in this connection in September 1929 and January 1930 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Third, after the passing of AICC resolution regarding hunger strike, the copies of the same, which were sent to different political prisoners, were withheld by the jail authorities. Further, the government refused a Congress deputation to meet the prisoners in this respect. Fourth, the Lahore conspiracy case under trials were assaulted brutally on 23rd and 24th of October 1929 by the orders of high police officials. Full details have appeared in the press. The copy of the statement of one of us recorded by the special magistrate, Pandit Sri Krishnan, have been duly forwarded to you in a communication dated 16th December 1929. Neither the Punjab government nor the government of India felt it necessary to reply or even acknowledge receipt of our communication praying for an inquiry, while on the other hand, local government has felt the imperative necessity of prosecuting us in connection with the same incident for offering violent resistance. Fifth, in the last week of December 1929, Sajjan Kiran Chandra Das and 8 others confined in Lahore Postal Jail were being taken to and produced in magistrates' court, were found handcuffed and chained together in flagrant breach of the unanimous recommendations of the Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee and also of Inspector General of Prisons, Punjab. It is further noteworthy that these prisoners were under trials, changed for a bailable offence. A long statement issued by Dr. Muhammad Aslam, Lala Dunni Chand of Lahore and Lala Dunni Chand of Ambala in this connection was published in the Tribune. When we learned these and other sufferings of the political prisoners, we refrained from resuming our hunger strike, though we were much grieved as we thought that the matter was going to be finally settled at an early date. But in the light of above instances, are we now to believe that the untold sufferings of the hunger strikers and the supreme sacrifice made by Jatin Das have all been vain? Are we to understand that the government gave its assurance only to check the growing tide of public agitation and to avert a crisis? You will agree with us if we say that we waited patiently for a sufficiently reasonable period of time. But we cannot wait indefinitely. The government, by its dilatory attitude and the continuation of vindictive treatment to political prisoners, has left us no other option but to resume the struggle. We realize that to go on hunger strike and to carry it on is no easy task. But let us at the same time point out that India can produce many more Jatins and Vagish, Ranrakshaks and Bhan Singhs. The last 2 named laid down their lives in Andamans in 1917. The first breathed his last after 63 days of hunger strike, while the other died the death of a great hero after silently undergoing inhuman tortures for full 6 months. Enough has been said by us and the members of the public in justification of the better treatment of political prisoners, and it is unnecessary here to repeat the same. We would, however, like to say a few words as regards the inclusion of motive as the basis and the most important factor in the matter of classification. Great fuss has been created on the question of criteria of classification. we find that motive has altogether been excluded so far from the criteria suggested by different provincial governments. This is really strange attitude. It is through motive alone that the real value of any action can be decided. Are we to understand that the government is unable to distinguish between a robber who robs and kills a victim and Khadak Bahadur who kills a villain and saves the honor of a young lady and redeems society of a most licentious parasite? Are both to be treated as two men belonging to the same category? Is there no difference between two men who commit the same offense, one guided by selfish motive and the other by a selfless one? Similarly, is there no difference between a common murderer and a political worker, even if the latter resorts to violence? Does not his selflessness elevate his place from amongst those of ordinary criminals? In these circumstances, we think that motive should be held as the most important factor in the criteria for classification. Last year, in the beginning of our hunger strike, when public leaders, including Dr. Gopi Chand and Lala Dunni Chand of Ambala, the last name being one of the signatories to the Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee report, approached us to discuss the same thing, and when they told us that the government considered to treat the political prisoners convicted of offences of violent nature as special class prisoners, then by way of compromise, we agreed to the proposal to the extent of excluding those actually charged with murder. But later on, the discussion took a different turn, and the communique containing the terms of reference for the Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee was so worded that the question of motive seemed to be altogether excluded, and the classification was based on two things. First, nature of offense, and second, social status of offender. These criteria, instead of solving the problem, made it all the more complicated. We could understand two classes amongst the political prisoners, those charged for non-violent offences and those charged for violent offences, but then creeps in the question of social status in the report of the Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee. As Chaudhry Afzal Haque has pointed out, and rightly too, in his note of dissent to this report, what will be the fate of those political workers who have been reduced to paupers' conditions due to their honorary services in the case of freedom? Are they to be left at the mercy of the magistrate who will try to prove the bona fide of his loyalty by classifying everyone as an ordinary convict? Or is it expected that a non-cooperator will stretch his hands before the people amongst whom he is fighting as an opponent, begging for better treatment in jail? Is this the way of removing the causes of dissatisfaction, or rather intensifying them? It might be argued that people living in property outside the jails should not expect luxuries inside the prison when they are detained for the purpose of punishment. But are the reforms that are demanded of a nature of luxury? Are they not the bare necessities of life, according to the most moderate standard of living? In spite of all facilities that can possibly be demanded, jail will ever remain a jail. The prison in itself does not contain and can never contain any magnetic power to attract the people from outside. Nobody will commit offences simply to come to jail. Moreover, may we venture to say that it is a very poor argument on the part of any government to say that its citizens have been driven to such extreme destitution that their standard of living has fallen even lower than that of jails. Does not such an argument cut at very root of that government's right of existence? Anyhow, we are not concerned with that at present. What we want to say is that the best way to remove prevailing dissatisfaction would be to classify the political prisoners as such into a separate class, which may further be subdivided, if need be, into two classes, one for those convicted of non-violent offences and the other for persons whose offences include violence. In that case, motive will become one of the deciding factor. To say that motive cannot be ascertained in political cases is hypocritical assertion. What is it that today informs the jail authorities to deprive the political even of the ordinary privileges? What it is that deprives them of the special grades or numberdaris, etc.? What makes the authorities to keep them aloof and separated from other convicts? The same thing can help in classification too. As for the special demands, we have already stated them in full in our memorandum to Punjab Jail Inquiry Committee. We would, however, particularly emphasize that no political prisoner, whatever his offence may be, should be given any hard and undignified labour for which he may not feel aptitude. All of them confined in one jail should be kept together in the same ward. At least one standard daily newspaper in vernacular or English should be given to them. Full and proper facilities for study should be granted. Lastly, they should be allowed to supplement their expenses for diet and clothing from their private sources. We still hope that the government will carry into effect without further delay its promise made to us and to the public, so that there may not be other occasions for resuming the hunger strike. Unless and until we find a definite move on the part of the government to redeem its promise in the course of the next 7 days, we shall be forced to resume the hunger strike. Yours, Bhagat Singh, Tat Others. Dated 28 January 1930. Under trials, Lahore conspiracy case. This was the 16th chapter of our very first book. Stay tuned for upcoming videos covering the rest of the chapters. Thanks and keep listening to Literate.